Welcome back to Pocket Run. Hey, where are you going? It's just math. Don't run away. Hey, hey. Oh, well.
Okay, we're doing lesson 6 and we're going to be talking about some different kinds of angles. Here I have two intersecting lines. When two lines intersect, it forms 4 angles. 1, 2, 3, 4. I have named my angles with Greek letters. These are Greek letters from the Greek alphabet. This is alpha, beta. You can remember beta because it looks like a B. Gamma, that's gamma. And delta sort of looks like a D. Okay, so I have labeled all 4 of these angles with alpha, beta, gamma, delta. So when you have 2 intersecting lines and it forms 4 angles, there are some things that we can talk about. There are adjacent angles in what we have formed. Adjacent just means next to each other. Okay, so these angles, adjacent angles, are next to each other. Delta and alpha are adjacent. They are next to each other. Delta and beta are adjacent. They are next to each other. Alpha and gamma are adjacent. They are next to each other. Gamma and beta are adjacent. So the other kind of angle that we form when 2 lines intersect is vertical angles. Vertical angles share the same vertex. You can remember that with a V, and they are opposite of each other. They are across from each other. The way I remember vertical angles is because they form a V. You have these lines here, they form an X, that's a V. This one's a V. Delta, this angle forms a V with gamma, V. It's like 2 V's touching each other. A V and a V. Those are vertical angles. Vertical angles are congruent. Congruent means exactly alike. So delta is vertical to gamma and they are congruent. Alpha is vertical to beta and they are congruent. So alpha and beta are vertical angles and delta and gamma are vertical angles. Okay? The other kind of angles that we're going to talk about in this lesson are complementary angles. Complementary angles are 2 angles that add to 90 degrees. Supplementary angles are 2 angles that add up to 180 degrees. Okay? Complementary angles, 2 angles that make a right angle together. Supplementary angles, 2 angles that add up to 180 degrees or a straight line. If you look at this, looks like a graph. So I've got a right angle right here. Well, let's just say that I'm going to draw a new angle in here. Well, let's call it angle 1 plus angle 2. They are complementary angles because angle 1 plus angle 2 equals 90 degrees. It equals that right angle. Okay? So they are complementary. If you look at the angles already made, this angle right here, angle 3 and angle 4, they're each going to be 90, but they add up to be a straight line, so those are supplementary angles. So in this lesson, we're going to be looking at complementary angles, which are 2 angles that add up to 90 degrees, supplementary angles, 2 angles that add up to 180 degrees, adjacent angles, angles that are next to each other, vertical angles, angles that are opposite each other, and they are congruent. Okay, we're going to work some problems with adjacent, vertical, complementary, supplementary angles. We're doing problems 6B, B as in boy, and we're going to do 1 through 14. Okay, always look at your figure first, and then read the givens. One of the things the given says, all lines that look straight are straight, meaning straight lines are straight angles, and a straight angle is 180 degrees. Then it says that the measure of angle QNP is 90 degrees. QNP, so if I follow QNP, that angle is 90 degrees. So I'm going to mark it on my picture. I always mark all my right angles with the right angle symbol because QNP is a right angle. Okay? This also is telling me that QNM is also a right angle because if line MP is a straight line, which is 180 degrees, then this angle right here also has to be a right angle. all these that look square corners will be a right angle. Like this one right in here is going to be a right angle because all of our lines are straight lines. Alright, so let's just look at our problems. Number 1 says angle MNS is adjacent to blank and blank. Okay, angle MNS. MNS. So we're looking at this angle where the red arc is. MNS. We want to name 2 angles that are next to this angle. Well, this angle right here, QNP, that would be right here, is next to that angle. So we can say angle QNM, QNM. Always remember the vertex is the middle letter. This angle is adjacent to the one we just marked. And then this angle is adjacent to the one we just marked. So the name of that angle, remember the vertex is the middle letter, so following the letters, SNR. So angle SNR. Number 2, QNT is adjacent to which 2 angles? Okay, so we're not dealing with this one anymore. So we're looking at QNT. We're looking at this angle right there. Let me fix mine. Okay, we're looking at this angle right here. QNT. Right here. So we're looking for angles that are adjacent to it, right next to it. Well, this angle right here is adjacent to it. That'd be QNM. So angle QNM. And then this one right here is also next to it. TNP. Now let's go to number 3, angle SRN. So we're looking at SRN. Follow with your fingers. SRN. That's this angle right here. And they want to know which angle is vertical to it. Remember, verticals are opposite of each other and they form a V. Okay, there's only one that's vertical to it, and that's this one right here. And we can call that YRZ. It would be this angle right there that I have marked is vertical to this one. They form a V. So YRZ. Angle YRZ. Okay, number 4. Now we're starting with angle MNS, and we want to know which angle is vertical to it. So angle MNS. Following the letters, that's back at this one right here, marked here. This little angle there, MNS. I want to know which angle is opposite of that and forms a V. That would be this red one right here. See how they're opposite and they form a V? So we would call that TNP. Angle TNP. Number 5, now we're looking at angle QNP, and we want to know what is supplementary to it. So QNP, that's the right angle that we have marked right there. Then you have to know what a supplementary means. Supplementary means 2 angles that form, or 2 angles that add up to 180 degrees. Okay? QNP, well, there are 2 different answers you can give, because QNM forms a straight line, QNM, because supplementary is 180. 180 means form a straight line. So this right angle here and then that right angle here both form a straight line and add up to 180 degrees. So QNM is one possible answer. You can also give this angle right here, because it's supplementary. That would be angle PNR. So angle PNR is a possible answer that you can also write down, that they are supplementary. One thing I did not say before is that complementary angles and supplementary angles do not have to be adjacent to each other. You can have 2 angles that add up to 90 degrees or 180 and not be adjacent to each other. In our picture, they are adjacent, and that's okay. Okay, number 6, QNT. So QNT. I'm going to erase my right angle mark for right now so it doesn't get too confusing. So QNT, we are looking at this angle right there. And we want to know what angle is complementary to that, meaning complementary to angles that add up to 90 degrees. So if we take this angle and then we add it to the one I just marked, those two add up to 90 degrees. QNT and then adding TNP, those add up to 90 degrees. Taking this angle plus this angle add up to 90 degrees because that is our right angle. Okay, let's go down to look at number 7. Angle NRZ, we want to know what is supplementary to that. So we have to come up here to NRZ. That is this big angle right there that I just marked, NRZ. Supplementary angles add up to 180, so there are a couple of choices you can pick. So if I add this angle that I just marked, that big obtuse angle plus this little angle form a straight line. When you're doing supplementary angles, you want to look for 2 angles that form a straight line. NRZ and then ZRY, both adding those together form a straight line. You could have also picked this small one over here because this angle plus this angle form this straight line right here, and those are supplementary. So NRZ is also supplementary to SRN. So some of these have more than one answer. Okay, let's look at number 8. Okay, 8, we're looking at angle MNS, and we want to know what's complementary to it. Complementary means 2 angles that form 90 degrees. So angle MNS, we are looking at this angle right here that's marked with the red arc. We want to know what is complementary to it, meaning which angle can we add to it to form 90 degrees. Well, MNY forms 90 degrees because it's vertical to this other right angle. So we can take this one and then add this angle right here to get our 90 degrees. Take this angle plus this angle, and that would give us our 90 degrees. So we can add SNR, you can call it SNR or SNY. I'm going to call it SNR. And those are the 2 angles you can add to get 90 degrees. Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to be looking at if we actually put numbers to this. What would be values of these angles if we actually add numbers? Let me clean my figure up. Everything that's given is still the same. So this is still a right angle. Alright, number 9 says if angle MNS is 35 degrees, then what is SNR? Okay, let's go back to our figure. If MNS, that is that little angle there, if that is 35 degrees, okay, if that is 35 degrees, then what is SNR? Follow with your fingers, SNR. That is the blue arc right there. Well, what do we know about these 2 angles? These 2 angles are complementary. They add up to 90 degrees. So if they add up to 90 degrees, and we know that that one is 35 degrees, then what is the missing one? Should be 55 degrees. 55 plus 35 is 90. Don't forget your degree symbol. Okay, number 10, if angle, let me erase those. If angle MNS is 35 degrees, that was the same one we were already working with. If MNS is 35 degrees, then what is angle TNP? Okay, angle TNP is the one in blue. What do we know about these two angles? They are vertical angles. They are across from each other, opposite each other. They form a V. Vertical angles are congruent. Congruent means exactly alike. So if this is 35 degrees, then that is 35 degrees. Okay, now we're on number 11. If the measure of QNP is 90 degrees, then what is the measure of PNR? Alright, looking at the figure, QNP is the 90 degrees that we've already marked. The given told us that that was 90 degrees. So the question says, what is the measure of PNR? PNR is that angle that I've marked right there. So QNP plus this angle form a straight line. A straight line is 180 degrees. So if we know this is 90, then this has to be 90 as well in order to add up to 180 degrees to form the straight line. So therefore we know that the measure of angle PNR is also 90. Alright, looking at number 12, if the measure of angle MSN is 95 degrees, then the measure of angle NSR. Okay, going back to the figure, MSN. Okay, be careful here. MSN. Remember, the middle letter is your vertex. So we are looking at this angle right there. If that were to be 95 degrees, see if I can get a little bitty 95 right in there, 95 degrees, then what is the measure of NSR? NSR, following your fingers, NSR. That's that blue angle right there. What do we know about the red angle plus the blue angle? They form a straight line. A straight line is 180 degrees, which means they are supplementary. So 95 plus this angle have to add up to 180 degrees, which means this angle has to be 85. 85, did I add that right? 85 plus 95. Actually, that should be 75. 85, oh yeah, 85 and 95, because 9 and 8 are 17, and that would be 180. Yeah, 85 degrees. I thought that was right at first. 85 plus 95, 180. Okay, so now we're looking at number 13. If the measure of SRN is 40 degrees, then what is the measure of YRZ? Okay, so if we've got to find SRN, so if SRN, that's this angle right there, if that is 40 degrees, then what is the measure of YRZ? YRZ. Okay, that's my blue marker is running out. That's this angle right there. What kind of angles are those angles? They are vertical angles. Vertical angles are congruent. So if this is 40, then this one is also 40. Last problem, 14, X and Y. If the measure of X and Y is 55 degrees, then what is the measure of Q and T? Going back to the figure, X and Y. So I think I'm missing a letter over here. X. I'm missing a letter X. Here is X. Boom, right there. Okay, X and Y. So X, N, Y. That's this angle right there. X, go all the way. Follow your letters. X, all the way to N, all the way down to Y. That's this angle right here. X, N, Y. That is 55 degrees. There's a lot of angles on this picture. That is 55 degrees. We want to know the angle of Q, N, T. Q, N, T. That's this angle right there. What kind of angles are those? They're vertical angles. They're opposite of each other. They form V's. Vertical angles are congruent. If this is 55 degrees, it means this is also 55 degrees.